alone in Germany, and we pursue the approach of entrepreneurial development cooperation. So entrepreneurship, job creation is very important for us.
We've just opened the Flex Lab at the Accra Technical University on the 13th of May. That is a space where we origins the 6-month extracurricular program that we offer through the program. Build career services for students. Combine that with practical experience.
I've been through first G, or 1G as we call it. I deployed 2G. I deployed the 3G. I deployed the 4G. Capability reaches everyone. And that could be that ICT Training Institute is not only located in Ghana or in Kumasi, but also in other 500 different places. And what does that require? It requires that the 4G is coming all the way to the edge of that building, okay? That the cloud edge is not only built in Accra because it's the biggest city. Policy considers all parameters to drive access to that capability.
Once again to an event that will set us on a right path. We've been on this path for quite a while, which involves, among other things, reconditioning the minds of a whole nation about just how much tech can contribute to its development.
I'm really excited this morning to be here, and I'm really happy to see all of you. To the second tech job fair. The first one, we had it online last year, and today we've opened it up here at the Accra International Conference Center.
We introduced an initiative to sensitize young girls and coach them in what we call promoting ICT career awareness programs for girls. We believe in inclusivity, so we have a keen focus on getting in girls in learning digital skills and to bridge the digital gender gap. You can see in the shots, we introduced, in collaboration with Vodafone Women in Technology, ICT career coaching workshop at Ola Girls back in 2019, and we did similar with MTN Women in Technology at Adontain Senior High, where we took young girls through ICT awareness.
The idea is that we firmly believe that cooperation is a must, and that the development, which very often has been seen as a symmetrical path, must be symmetrical. It must be by sharing. And this is why I think the entrepreneurial path is a good path to go ahead. Because we believe that the private sector can generate growth, create jobs, and finally can provide prosperity for all of us. So the main focus of the AFOS Foundation is to support projects that promote the private sector and help to create jobs. We call that entrepreneurial cooperation.
Professionals, Senior Business Advisor, Isoko, Strategic Advisor, AFOS Foundation, Directors of state agencies and institutions here present, Deans and Directors, heads of department, heads of halls, executives and members of the association present here, staff and students present, distinguished invited guests, our friends from India, ladies and gentlemen. I say a very good afternoon to you all, and it's my pleasure, the privilege to welcome you to the maiden edition of the Industry Academia Lectures for Food Technical. And next time we can sit around the table and have a handshake and see each other's face. Who might stand slap?
To Technical University, like Chief Executive Officer said, it's good to be home, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're all welcome, and we're going to be giving you an overview of our programs and inducted in general.
Yes, okay, let's go. The inducted started in August 2021. We started with our first university, our first partners, University of Cape Coast in August 2021. And 1 year after, we are here in August 2022, and we are here at Whole Technical University. All right.
And this happens to be our fifth inducted that is being organized. That is Industry Academia Tech Dialogue. This is the fifth one that is being organized today.
Right. So the Institute of ICT Professionals has been in existence for the past 5 years, and we have been involved in mobilizing professionals, businesses, students, and a range of stakeholders in the ICT ecosystem.
Over the 5-year period, we have over 2,500 members who are from ICT professionals. We also have members from government, academia, corporate enterprises, and also business startups as part of our membership base. So as it stands, we have 2,500 members over the 5-year period.
The Institute of ICT Professionals Ghana so far has trained over 10,000 students, professionals, and businesses in the last 5 years.
Apart from the trainings that we organize, we also engage in other forms of, and we engage people on other platforms such as online. We also have our radio platforms with radio programs running in partnership with the Institute, and also television, newspaper, and social media. So we have over 4,000 media engagements and publications.
So far, we've had a lot of engagement. We have exposed our young people to coding, which is one of the things we do. And in our coding program, we have so far engaged over 30,000 people in the area of coding. That is computer programming.
We do not do that in isolation. We have some partners of the Institute. We have over 50 partnerships with local, international organizations across private, government, and development agencies all over the world.
Right. So let's look at our focus. We focus on a number of things. We focus on skill development, which we call early start. We also focus on professional skills development and industry-led public education, like what we are doing today. So we bring industry players, and then we have conversations on technology.
And so, in brief, we'll say that we train and certify professionals and students. We also provide opportunities through networking for our members and partners, and also educate the public and lead in this skills provision and development in the country.
Right. Let's look at our first Industry Academia Tech Dialogue. The first one we had in 2021, August 2021, was in Cape Coast, or University of Cape Coast, where we had, it was a small group of professionals and students at the Flex Lab of DigiCap.
From then, we had our Industry Academia Tech Dialogue at Accra Technical University. There, the focus was on technology jobs with skills that employers are looking for. So what are the skills that the employers are looking for? And what role can technology play in ensuring that our members and the youth, our students, are equipped with these skills for them to be able to fit perfectly into the job market? And so that was the second inducted that was organized and was held in Accra Technical University.
And we are happy to have them with us here. We are really grateful. The next one, we moved to a bigger space like this auditorium. We went to Accra International Conference Center, where we had a job fair like we are having today, an exhibition. We had a job fair and inducted. So the inducted happened in the afternoon. We had a job fair in the morning. Today we are having both inducted and an exhibition. So we are really excited about this.
From the Accra International Conference Center, we moved to Academic City University College, or ACT, and it was our fourth inducted. There, the focus was on of our fourth inducted was on discussing youth employment opportunities through remote IT service delivery. And so we were looking at means by which our youth could also fit into the biosystem of this theme, that is discovering or discussing youth employment opportunities through remote IT service delivery.
And remote IT service delivery is very important these days because a lot of people can now get jobs remotely. You don't need to travel to Accra. You can still work from wherever you are as long as you have good internet connectivity. So remote work is one of the things that we promote, and you will soon see some discussions on that. So we talked about the job fair already. So we normally organize annual job fair. This year we organized the second annual job fair at the Accra International Conference Center in February. And we had lecturers and students from Whole Technical University joining us there, and we are really grateful that you participated in that.
Like we stated earlier, apart from this physical engagement, we do other forms of engagement. And so one of our means of engaging is through publications in the Business and Financial Times. And so anytime you get a copy of the Business and Financial Times, look for the IIPGH, or the Institute of ICT Professionals Ghana page in there, so that you could be updated on the activities that we carry out as an institute.
To advance the conversation on remote work, we organized a forum called Tech Entrepreneurs Forum in May. So in May, we organized a forum where we brought in businesses that are involved in remote jobs. So as students and people working in the tech space, you want to get opportunity in the areas of remote job delivery. So we are actively promoting remote jobs. So we had this Tech Entrepreneurs Forum where we discuss jobs, what are the opportunities, and what are the challenges in the area of remote service delivery.
One thing that we do as an institute is to go out and also contribute to the growth of our society. And we call it the coding caravan, where we move from one location to to the other. We organize regional outreach programs for children, for them to also imbibe the skills right from the start. I'm sure a lot of us would have wished that we were exposed better to ICT or technology at an earlier age. And so if we have not been able to meet that, are we going to leave our children behind? And so together with the Institute of ICT Professionals Ghana and its partners, we embark on this corporate social responsibility activities and go into the communities, both at the regional level, at the all the levels in the country, to educate and expose our children right from start.
That's right. Last month, we spent 4 weeks traveling in 3 regions where we sent our young engineers and tutors to communities with laptops, with 3D printers, and we organized coding program where we expose young people to the technology of today and the technology of tomorrow.
And so these are some of the images from our coding caravan. And so the next time it gets to your location, ensure that you take part actively, or you allow your children to also take part and learn some of these skills for themselves.
Right. So if you want to be part of the Institute of ICT Professionals Ghana, you can visit us, www.iipga.org. You can send us an email, and you can also visit us physically at our office, 2nd floor, Oxford Place, Ring Road Central.
You can also send us an email at info@iipgh.org. info@iipgh.org. So if you need any clarification or any enquiries, you want to know how to become a member, you can just send us a mail and we will be ready to assist you with all your enquiries.
All right. I want to say a big thank to 2 individuals that have been pushing to get this program happen here. The head of the Department of Computer Science Department, Mr. Adolf. We want to see you. Please, can you stand up for us to see you? He worked so hard to get this program here, and want to thank him. And also, our Regional Director of Communication, Mr. Elolo Alfred Kongolo. Are you here? Yes. We want to say a big thank you for almost harassing us to bring this program here. We want to thank you for making it possible. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your attention.
All right, one more, take it in. So we all came in here without writing our names, but we still want to register. If you look at if you look on the leaflets, the flyer with you, you will see something very little here. Scan me. Scan me. Please take your smartphone, turn on the camera and scan. You will see a link. Click on the link and register. Let me go through again. When you take the flyer, either the front or the back bottom corner, you will find a link there. You find something there, a small black box, and it's there. Below it, you see scan me. Take out your smartphone and turn on the camera and scan. You will see a link. Click on the link and register.
Martin, thank you very much. We will now have Mr. Godinikwe Kote, who is the guest speaker for today, to give us his presentation. Mr. Nikwe.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Most of the when I'm doing presentations like this, I always have a challenge with the protocols. And a journalist told me, if you think you can mention all the names, just go ahead and say with all protocols observed. So I beg with all protocols observed. Good afternoon, let me continue with my presentation. Today we are going to look at the AGRIC, opportunities in AGRIC. Before I go there, I'll introduce by saying, when we are young and you go to school, especially secondary school, you're in the boarding house, the latest thing you do, the next thing they will tell you that go and win. True of us. We'll be winning. Later did I know that our teachers and seniors are teaching us how to make money. But we don't know, we thought they are punishing us. And I know some will say, what is this guy meaning? Let me tell you. All money or all riches in the world is in the soil. Name it. Gold, where do you get it from? Diamond, where do you get it from? Bauxite, where do you get it from? Timber, where do you get it from? Cocoa, where do you get it from? So if you are taking me to the soil, what do you want me to do? To become rich. So agriculture is rich. It's only how you do it will make you more richer or less richer. As I say, my name is Godin Kotenikwe. I work with Istoku. I'll look at 5 areas: one, software, infrastructure, security, and data protection, because most of the things we do in agriculture and ICT is born to data. And if I don't talk on it, it will be a blow to me. And I don't think data protection will allow me to go free. Solutions that we have, and then I'll also talk about something else that is coming in. All this I'm going to do, I'm going to relate it to opportunities in employment. The target I have here is to look at the agtech industry, what opportunities we have there to create employment. In most of it, when we are in school, all we look at is, when I finish, I'm going to work in the ministries. When I finish, I'm going to work in this company. When I finish, I'm going to do this. But I bet you can finish and look at the agtech industry, look at agriculture, and see that you are way, way, way ahead of people. I remember when I was in school, before I finished my degree, my best friend, Latopa, he was doing agric economics, and I was specializing in animal science. He told me one thing, and I always remember that thing. When we meet, I said, hey, Latopa, is that you? He told me that, how for you are doing animal science. All you do is wearing apron in the abattoirs, slaughtering animals. I said, you. I said, you. It's okay for me. I'll be wearing tie and be in the bank doing risk analysis for banks. I said, okay. We all finished. Human beings. It's the same way that the agri-tech industry has started. It started gradually. Initially, it started with just price dissemination, price collection. All the companies, one way or the other, going from each area to do price dissemination. Gradually, we noticed that no, pricing alone is not the way to go. But what is the opportunities within the pricing industry? What are the employment within the pricing industry? If I mean commodity prices on the market, at the point in time, before market price move from home to Accra for the Ministry of Food Agriculture to publish it for us to have a meaningful analysis on it, it takes more than 1 month. And you know, most of us in research will tell you that, look, when the data keeps long, the manipulations are high. So you have to make sure that the data move faster to be he can do his analysis, and then what? Go ahead. So we look at how fast can we use technology. So now we started to take the phone, take the prices, and send a text message. In that case, what opportunities are we creating over there? The one going to market to pick market prices is getting job to do. The one who is there developing the mobile phones is getting money to do. The one who is doing the technology there, IGBN is getting job to do. But one thing I keep on saying, all this, especially the mobile phones, we don't produce them in Ghana. So the more we buy, the more we create opportunity for somebody else to make money. We move from that one, and then we become to a second generation, whereby we are using web interface, internet, cloud. Now, someone asked me, so if you say we are storing things in the cloud, what do you mean? I said, I bet you, I didn't do engineering, ICT. I only talk about it because I have heard it. Let me ask you to go to the engineering students and don't see what they mean by a cloud. Because when I went to school and they told me cloud is up there. So if you ask me, I'll tell you it's all up there. So you just imagine the data, they are storing it up there, and they call it the cloud. So just take it like that. But look, we are moving forward. Technology is changing the faces of agriculture and everything over here. I'm talking a little bit about Isoko history because I'm coming from Isoko. So I let me just small for Isoko, and then I move on. Isoko started in 2008 with also basic price information. In 2010, we added one aspect to it, looking at agriculture contents, looking at farmer interface, look at how can we communicate with farmers to make sure that information that farmers need will get to them on time. We added what we call the voice services. In this, we are doing text messages. But we added voice message. Why? Because the challenge in this country, one of the biggest challenges we have in the AgTech industry is illiteracy. No matter how you put the thing in words, in text, most of the people that want that text to benefit will not be able to read and write. Even sometimes we ourselves, those of who have been to school, if you send me a mail and you give me a full page, I look at it and say, this guy, what's he trying to tell me? I don't read the salient points and keep it for a while. Reading is one of the biggest problems we have in this country. Most of us don't want to read. So a lot of things that they have in books, we are not able to grab them. So we change to voice. So your phone will ring, and then what happens? You listen to whatever we want to say. And we are all happy with it. Then we went to biometrics. So the technology keep on what? Changing it. It's being done because of you and I. We have people who are having ideas, but now how they can put their ideas into use is the problem. With technology, I always keep on saying, with technology, everything is possible. Currently, with technology, we can send a man to a woman to a man, true or false. Yes. So with technology, everything is possible. So long as you think of the thing and Peter can draw his images with technology, that thing can come fast. All this that we're doing are being done by young graduates. I mean, young graduates. Isoko has been there since 2008. And Isoko is one of the leading IT coming in to do coding. And I always admire the young ones among them. The lady we have recently, it's 22 years. She has completed 10 years and coding. I was amazed. I said, look, if this lady will take her time and learn and do more, she will move faster. And let me tell you, those of us who are doing, we have ICT students right here, engineering. Yes, let me give you this. Currently, you are the people that they are paying more. If somebody AGRIC is taking 4,000 a month, you will be taking 5,000 a month. And I bet you, if you take your studying seriously and take your education seriously and take your coding seriously, you will move up faster. Because every day, as the so we are looking for somebody to come and code for us. Because technology keep on changing, and we need to change. And if you don't change, you'll be at the back end. So every day when people come, I know somebody who came and okay, it's highly experienced. He quoted 10,000 a month in Ghana. So you should know and take it serious. And by 2020, we are looking at financial services and financial inclusion. We know when we are young and we are growing up, when you go to the bank and you deposit money, you don't get the test. On your bank account, you get the text message. This is through the help of what? Technology. We moved to the restaurant, and now Ghana, with the help of our Vice President, we are looking at what? Digitization. Digitization is all about technology. It's all about using technology to move the nation forward. At Isoko, we say we are the leading AgTech and development platforms in the country and then in Africa. And those someone will challenge me, but that is. And we work in agriculture, we work in social protection, we work on a lot of research work. It's only who Teka University, I don't have a student from who Teka University researching pricing, who will call Isoko and looking for pricing data. But most of the universities will call look for one price data, 5 years, 10 years, to do trend analysis to look at what is happening on the market. And after COVID strikes, it's more like a daily routine. Want to know, compare before and after COVID, what has happened and all that. The key areas in the AgTech industry is one, agronomic content. In that area, we need more people who both do agronomy, who are into agriculture, and people who are into what? Technology. All what we are doing is blending technology with agriculture. Why are we saying that? We need somebody who can use satellites to predict the weather. By predicting the weather, we need the agri person to interpret that thing in relation to what? What it means for a farmer growing a particular crop in the area. So we are creating job for both the IT guy and what? The agriculturists. And what other thing again are we looking at? We are looking at how best can we use this technology to help the farmer to improve his yield. One area too that we look at is project deployment. Project deployment. All this I'm saying, we are using what? ICT. Any form of agri project that you have, you can deploy it using ICT currently without any problem. Because in the beginning, we don't know. In the middle, we became aware. Now we know. And we can now predict what's going to happen in the future. That's why I keep on telling most of my colleagues that look, if I've known earlier, when I finish series 2, I shall have gone to do coding. Who knows that today we will do data collection with a mobile phone. And I'm happy when David came here, he was telling that if you want to register, no paper, don't go and write anything on paper. But use your smartphone, take a picture, you get the QR codes, and then we'll do what? You register over there. The one who developed that particular product, you know the amount of money that person is getting. But anytime you use it, how best we can use technology, not only in agriculture, not only in health, not only in education, but in all aspects of our lives to move ahead. As I said, we do it for, we use it for surveying. I want to talk about surveying. Now, currently, one area that we've moved to is an area that they call the CATIC. That's computer assisted telephone interviews. After COVID, initially, we all know when you are doing interviews, you take your paper and go and interview the person, or take the tablet, go and interview and come. But after COVID, that we know that now, face-to-face interaction is not the best, especially when we want to prevent the spread of diseases. We are not using telephones a lot. So put the telephone, you call, you mention your name, talk to you, and then start asking you questions. It's a little bit dicey and tricky because of the environment we find ourselves in currently. Because we know that currently people can call you, mention your name all right, start telling you a nice story before you realize they now hack your phone. I don't see hacking to be a crime. Hacking is very good. Hacking. The IT guys know. Hacking is very good because if you don't hack, we won't take things for granted. But so long as they can hack, you need more people to always make sure that your systems are secure. So if you know 10 people are hacking your server, you employ 20 people to always maintain your system. It's not a good improvement opportunity for us. So hacking is good. I don't see it to be bad at all. But with technology now, we are moving from ordinary name of a farmer and going with a card. So currently at Isoko, most of the farmers that we are working with, we all give them the card, which contains a lot of data about them. All they need to do is to scan and then they can get their information. And it's very good also for the banks, because their daily or monthly or yearly financial transactions are all on the card. It's by the help of technology. And I bet you the one who brought this idea up and started this thing is a 33-year-old graduate from KMUH. And he's not making it. Because any time we print one card, you have a commission. Currently, we have a contract to print 10,000 cards for GIZ in WA. If his commission is 1%, imagine how much it's going to make. As we keep on going on, we keep on noticing that there's more opportunities for employment in agriculture than even in the industries. Why am I saying that? When you look at the AGRIC value chain, take the value chain. Let me take tomatoes, which will move all the way from Navrongo to Accra. What technology have we built as a country or as an individual to even monitor the temperature in the track from Navrongo to Accra? Just to know the changes that is occurring in the tomato, so that our food scientists can actually look, if this changes from this level to that level, it becomes electropoisonous, it becomes what? Not good, it gives cancer, it does that. And then at the end of the day, we will know that we don't need the trucks that we are using, but we need what? A coal van to move it. Then policies may be what? Formulated to do what? To support that. But we don't have. Then at the end of the day, before the tomatoes get to Accra, you notice that half of it is what? It's gone. So I will challenge you people to take the industry very serious and look, what can I do? What can I do to solve a particular problem in the value chain of a particular crop? The other time somebody did something, although it didn't work well, but I keep on telling her, look, go and improve upon it. Go and improve upon it. Today, a young guy has done something, and is going to launch it, hopefully next month. It's very simple. We have just done an app, just like the Uber app. And all it is doing is to get people to apply and then pay for them to come and pick their rubbish from their houses. So instead of you waiting for the week when your dustbin is full, you just get them on the app and they will come. And they are doing it with all the needed separations of the rubbish. If it's organic one side, if it's something that is non-degradable one side. And I'm pushing that. Look, don't wait for someone to give you money. Launch it and let's go. You will make the money. But it's something that we need in this country. It's something that we need that can help the country to what? Differentiate our waste. So at the end of the day, those that we can use for fertilizer, we can easily convert into fertilizer. Those that we can use for fertilizer will what? Go to the industries and they will use to do whatever they want to do. Another area that we use ICT a lot is what we call the ES station. As I said earlier on, we look at the weather, both the daily forecast and then the seasonal forecast. We look at the agronomic best practices. We look at market price information. All this we are giving them to farmers by text, by voice, by IVR, and now what we have introduced is videos. So farmers that we know have mobile phones are being sent videos of certain things that they should do on their farms. And especially with the outbreak of the fall armyworm, everything about fall armyworm currently, we have them on video. So that the farmer can watch. So when he goes to the farm, he will notice what he has seen on the video and then take the necessary action. One thing I'm going to dwell on is what we are saying, or we are moving into now, is the precision agriculture. When we started agriculture, we said it's what? It's for my family, using whole and cutlass. We are no more there. I think last March, I had a chance to meet with the Minister of AGRIC, and jokingly, I told him that I called him that, but I don't want trouble. What I'm going to see, if I say like that, I'll find myself to blame. So I said that. Now they're planning for food and job. Can't we stop it and then ask the smallholder farmers to skip, so I will use it for commercial purposes. Then we can pay them salary every month. Then you look at my face, when you go to school and do that your nonsense things, then you come and talk less anything. But look, if we can get 20% of our people in agriculture now producing 80% of what we need in Ghana, we can retire all the smallholder farmers in Ghana. Because now we've moved from whole and cutlass to implements using drones. We use drones to do what? To spray the farm. We can use drones to do fertilizer. We can do specific things with the drone. And these drones, we need people, IT people who can pilot them, people who can service them, people who can actually manufacture them in the country. But we don't have. I was struggling to get one to come here, at least to demonstrate how it works. They promised they will come, only for me to know that they've had a big contract in Afra Plains. So no, when they were talking to guys in Afra Plains, actually making money. And those reduce the time you use in spraying. It gives you evenly distributed chemical. And the chemical is very, very difficult to see somebody using drone to spray and then you will get what? Chemical on him. I find difficult to believe that you spray a drone to spray and then at the end of the day there are chemicals on you. No. But in Ghana now our farmers are struggling. Some of them are dying. But they don't know that they are dying because of the chemicals they are using on their farms. And it's becoming worrying. So I get worried when I I go to Akumadai, Chobodom, and I always tell them that first we don't take care, we have to import men from other areas to that area. Because the chemicals are destroying them. It's becoming worrying. Please, if you know anybody spraying, going to do any spray, ask the person to put on the protective gears, the PPEs. They are very, very important. Somebody will go into bed in the morning, before they go, the person is dead. They wake up and they blame an old lady, somebody somewhere that the person is a witch. Later, do you know that the previous day, the person had gone to the farm and contaminated himself with chemicals? So please, let's carry the message across. Using drones to spray your farm is even affordable. More cheaper than asking somebody to take a nasal spray at his back and go and spray. Even the man-hour time that you waste. Drone can take less than 1 hour to spray 10 acres. Human being will take 2 or 3 days. So let's make use of technology. And when we say precision agriculture, we also go to what they call the localized agriculture. So if you want water to drop here, the drone will drop the water there. At the end of the day, your farm will not get soaked. Agric sense will know. Excuse me. Anytime you water your crops and do the sprinkling or the flooding, the whole farm get wet. Weeds will grow on the farm easily. But when your plant is here and you water here and this place is dry, the weeds don't get water to grow. So weeding the farm becomes what? Simple. You only go to the crop and do what? Uproot and you are done. These are all technologies that students can look into. One student has brought out something which we are now testing. And if that thing works, that guy will get money. International or irrigation something, they are planning seriously. What did they do? This bottle water we keep on drinking, he just punched a hole. And of course, when it drops, the air has to go in to fill the top, then it will drop. It's taking time before the water was drops. And they're using it for irrigation. So if you keep on planting it at an interval, you will make it. So please, we have a lot of, a lot of opportunities in the area of agriculture. We have a lot of opportunities in the area of technology that we can use to move our country forward. Let me talk a little about software development. Please don't ask me questions about software development. I told you that I'm not an IT guy. I only learn them from my guys and I go. So when I talk, take it like that. But what I know is that we have the architectures that we use. And each and every architecture will need somebody to do what? To handle it. The user interface. Normally, I know the interface is what you see on your screen. They need a designer, they need somebody to design it, to make it look nice, and all that. And it's students who do it, it's people who do it. We look at the servers themselves, the data interface, the business layers, and all that. And then before they call something the back end, the actual codings at the back side. All these things need people. The computer which is there cannot come there and then start giving us what we want. We need people to put them in. And this is all people doing. My only thing I always have with the coders is they think they do more than you. So no matter what you advise them, until the thing comes out and they know that it's not fit for purpose, they will not listen to you. Please don't do that. listen to the experts in agriculture and do something for them, and that will sell. So we look at the architecture, we look at the database and all that. And this is something that we introduced to COCOBOD. We've introduced something similar to Planting for Food and Jobs, which I would say they are taking it. And if they take it will help the whole country. In Ghana, right now, we don't have the database of farmers. And so statistical services take the data and say, 60% of Ghanaians are farmers. But after that, go to your district mobile office and ask him how many farmers do you have here. They don't know. So we say, let's build a database of farmers so that with a common USSD, this platform of food and job, you just send a USSD to the server. The server will give you the details of the farmer. You know exactly what that farmer needs, and you give the farmer exactly what he needs. And these are all things that we need people to help build. We need people to build them, and need people to help us maintain them and manage them. Infrastructure. There are so many infrastructures in the country, and I don't want to talk on only the Soko. So I picked a few of them that are currently working in the country. We have what we call cow tribe. Cow tribe only uses GPS in the chip, and they put on the ears of the cattle. So where the animal is moving, you can trace and track them. We use them mainly for, especially the nomadic herdsmen. So I know when they are going to somebody's farm and when they are not going to somebody's farm. We also have Ross Spectrum, who is doing more digital payments. We have Trotro Tata. Trotro Tata is established and working more like Uber. So we sometimes do that is Uber Trotro. So I will make sure that whatever you need Trotro to plow for you, you need Tata to plow for you, you go on the app and then fill the form and they'll get you a tractor to plow. We have Farmer Line. We have Viamo. Viamo is doing a lot of voice messaging. And then we have Agro Center. I like this company because there are two young guys who 4 years ago was working with Isoko. They moved from Isoko and they have established their company. They call it AGRIC Center. They are doing exactly what Isoko is doing. The only difference between Isoko and them is that after they helping the farmers to grow their commodities, they buy the commodities from the farmers. So they've created a big opportunity for themselves to move in the agri value chain industry. So these are all some infrastructure that are in the country. And I tell you to bring your infrastructure and come and build something and let's see how it will go. I talk of data security. And with data security, we look at data protection laws of the country. We cannot keep data, we cannot do anything without going through the data protection. So please, before you do everything, just look at what the regulation says and then go by the regulation. What solutions do we have over there that also creates employment for the people? We have IVR, we have Telegram, we have WhatsApp, which Android, we have USSD, we have the internet, and then we have the Android. Now the Android is the reigning champion. So now almost everything that we do, we want to replicate it on the Android device. So that when I'm not there, you can go and do anything at all you want to do with it. With or without internet, you can work with it. Then we move the country forward. One issue that we look at integration, and this is now becoming a hot cake. Because I have my data, you have your data. I don't want to come and collect your data.
The next 1 minute.
People, what do you call it? Is it IP? You can just link up the service. Although I'm working in your server, but I'm still using mine. So I just can't meet what I want, I do, and I go. And all this are areas that agriculture is moving in seriously. So if you have any idea in any of these fields, you can do it easily. We all know how to use SPSS to do our analysis. So I will not talk much on it. Starter to do analysis, I won't talk much on it. What's more is payments, wallets, IDs. All these are coming in one way or the other to do what, to support whatever we are doing. But technology is moving this faster than we think. If you look at when we started using mobile money and how it grew, forget about 11. Don't think about 11 now. We are thinking about how sources into payment strategies to see how best even cocoa farmers can be paid using mobile money. That we don't need to go there again. The cocoa catch don't need to carry money in the bag to go and buy cocoa. And they are using a lot of this. If we buy cocoa from you, how can we know that we're the one who gives them the cocoa and there's no child labor on your farm? And all these are areas that we are moving into it. And if you are here and you can do something, you can think of something on this, and you can produce it, look, you go. I know of KIC, Cosmos Innovation Group, or what they call themselves. They are spending a lot of money to make people what? Bring out ideas and build the ideas to better their lives. And all the ideas people are building is based on what? ICT and in agriculture. So I just try to bring some of these things to show that, look, the payment gateways that have been created help a lot, Tigo Cash, Visa, but all these are technology based. As I said, forget about e-levy. When we want to talk of e-levy, I'll call the economists to come and talk of e-levy. I'm talking about how this area is helping us move our agriculture forward. Another area that we are now encroached, I would say encroached into, is artificial intelligence. Now, with artificial intelligence, we can sit here and know what is happening internally using the satellite. You can be here and predict pests and diseases in Togo. And all these that are coming in are being built, are being worked on, are being what? Touched by young guys. Young guys are using their ideas in IT engineering to do what? To move some of these things forward. And I'm always happy when I see them. Currently, with this system, we're able to predict 4 armyworm invasion. So last year we tried it. It worked perfectly. This year too, we are trying it. If next year we finish the trials and crop research approve of it, it's becoming a hot cake. So I want to tell you that this week, there's a likelihood of 4 armyworm in your area. And then AGRIC will move in to help solve that problem. These are some of the target companies or consumers of everything we do in agriculture in the IT world. And look, from agri business to NGOs to government to financial institutions to rural service providers, the opportunities there for you is endless. The opportunity there for you is endless. What you need to do is to take your learning seriously. Look at which area of this you have an idea build on it, and then we go. These are some of the footprints of Isoko across the world and across.
Thank you, Mr. Kote, for such wonderful insight. Mr. Kote is the senior business advisor of Isoko, right? So you will get to hear a lot of Isoko in his presentation. We are going to make a presentation right now from Dr. NSA, who is a senior Dr. NSA. The beautiful one is he's joining us online. We are talking about digitalization, ICT, and what have you, and we need to put into practice what we are discussing today. And so he will be joining us soon with the help of our technical person. He's ready. You are welcome, Dr. Tay.
Yes. Thank you so much. Can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, Dr. Sai, we can hear you.
Wonderful.
Great. So,
Can you see the screen as well?
Yes, we can see it, Doc.
Okay, wonderful. So I am Professor Tay Enes from the University of Cape Coast, and then in the Agricultural Engineering Department, but specifically my interest is in rapid detection of food quality and safety in the agricultural food system. So I just want to, because the time is limited, we have about only 10 minutes, I'll just focus on what we have done so far. And I am so happy because the earlier speaker made mention of most of the things that I would like to say. And one of them I would like to echo again, and that is, decide to look for a challenge and be the solution to that challenge. And that is even found in the good books, that you are the light of the world. That means that if you are the light of the world, you only become relevant when you get to where there are darkness. So personally, that has motivated me so far. That if I'm the light of the world and there are challenges, I don't run away, I try to overcome them. So the challenge that my center, that is an initial center in the University of Cape Coast, we have found so far is what we call the food integrity. What is food integrity? By a simple definition, we say what is food integrity is determined by what is written on the food, what we know that includes safety, quality, and the source of the food. So if you consider the food integrity matrix, we have the quality, the safety, the fraud, and the defense. However, our part of the world, we hardly focus on the fraud and the defense. Spare me for this definition because they are too academic, but I just want to give you the practical evidence. Everybody, including everybody, I always say that, eats food. But sometimes I ask the question, do we eat by availability? Do we eat by choice? Now, if you eat by choice, then it means that you are very critical about the food you eat. And I always also say that if you buy food cheaply, then you buy a medicine expensive. But if you buy food expensive because you respect the producer, then you will not buy medicine at all. So this sums up to say that what can we do then to be able? So what can we do as a center? And what are some of the impending challenges that I want to overcome so that I'll become relevant to society? so that what the earlier speaker said, more of the recognition and the money will come later on. So I realized that one aspect fraud and safety. Now, you all will recall some few years ago, we all heard of the plastic rice issue. And it became a global issue because rice is a commodity which is durable, therefore it is almost in every country. Because it is highly consumed, food fraudsters begin, for some I would say, substandard rice, even though we produce majority as well, but most of us are not happy about what we produce. Therefore, when I looked at that opportunity came my way, I said, this is a challenge to the whole world. What can I do to overcome that challenge? Then I'll employ technology, mobile phone, coupled to a micro sensor that will fingerprint the rice. Let me just give you a simple illustration. Some mobile phones will only open when you put your thumbprint behind. That tells us that the mobile phone that you are having has an intelligence, that is artificial intelligence, by which if you train, you should be able to understand the integrity of the food and those that are fraudulent. So with this idea at the background, I decided to collaborate with an external partner. We got funding, and now we have a technology that with a mobile phone and with a scanner, which goes down there, you can scan your rice on site and determine the quality of rice, and also determine which country the rice is even coming from. So that should you blacklist any country because of suspicious or because of one or two issues, you can detect them rapidly at the port of entry before it gets to your consumers. But oftentimes this technology that is already available demands a long time for you to get the analysis. But this one, within 25 seconds, you get your results. Furthermore, at my visit in an international lab in the UK, we decided to review one of the challenges that is attacking Africa. And since 2004, there have been issues of Sudan dye adulteration. That means that we've not been able to find a solution for Sudan dye adulteration. And recently, we all recall that FDA had the news that most of the palm oil produced in some part of Accra, sold there, were having high incidence of Sudan dye. And it will interest you to know that Sudan dye is highly carcinogenic and is categorized as carcinogen. That means that it is not good. It should not even be found in our food because it's used to dye, but it has found its way in our food. But how can we overcome this? We can only overcome this by using technology. So therefore, we employ the same technology again to simulate to see if the fingerprint of Sudan adulterated palm oil could be picked by the technology, and as well, the authentic ones could be picked. And to our amazement, after training the model, we came out to say that we will be able to differentiate palm oil with Sudan dye and palm oil without Sudan dye. And currently, we receive funding from the UK Innovation to develop this for a company in Accra. So, as an academician, we need to also publish to show that we are capable. And so this was the publication we did for our previous trial, and it worked so fantastic. We now went on to another challenge, which is marked date of lay. In the bakery industry, freshness of egg is a very vital attribute. That means that they need to rapidly determine the freshness of egg. So when they break it, it will not melt the whole confectionery product. Therefore, we also attempted using mobile phone assisted with rapid near-infrared spectroscopy. And to our amazement, we are able now to differentiate egg from 1 day to 21 days. That means that freshness of eggs could be determined with a click of a button and the use of an artificial intelligence tool called the near-infrared spectroscope. So this as well led to a very wonderful publication that has received a lot of citation and even invitations to prove the model outside Ghana, and it is fantastic. Now the other challenge which I'm throwing to all of us is what we call the AGRIC input integrity. Again, at the background, I have not seen a lot of research material looking at the integrity of our agro produce. But with my interaction with farmers, I have realized that most of them are weeping because they are not getting good yield. Even the yield they get, they are not getting the recommended yield. Therefore, the cost is also unknown. So we propose that it could be that most of the agrochemicals they use are fraudulent. Because, hello?
Please, if you can give us the presentation mode so that it will be friendly to everyone. The screen,
Oh.
Yes, please.
Okay, wonderful. Because I asked, I thought you guys are having it. Fantastic. Can you see it now?
No, Prof.
We can see you, but the presentation mode.
The presentation mode, yes.
Yeah, it's in presentation mode.
Okay, thanks.
I have shared screen. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Is it better now?
We would appreciate a full screen.
Yeah, it's a full screen now.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, let me. Can you see it now?
Yes, Prof. Thank you so much.
Fantastic. So, let me now go back a little. Now, this is another thing that is affecting the African food system, but most have not investigated or come out with the solution. Fake agrochemicals and fertilizer, as well as pesticides, is hampering our farmers. The reason is we have not developed techniques to determine authentic agrochemicals and fake ones. That means that a lot of them are in our system. The reason that I am confident a lot of them are found in our food system is that we know the impact. We know the impact is also killing, but none has investigated this. None has developed techniques. So I throw it to all of us. Can we find a system where, with the use of the mobile phone, a farmer in the village can detect the integrity of the agrochemical he is using? Because if the agrochemical is fraudulently done or is fake, one, farmers are going to have to push the food on us. That means the food produced by using fake agrochemical will not be safe for us. And again, those who produce the genuine ones cannot compete with those who are using fake agrochemicals. Now, Europe, recently, this is where my basis could be found. Recently, seized the largest illegal pesticide in 27 European countries. And out of them, majority were pesticides. So that means if the farmer is having a challenge, you will not get the full benefit of the chemical. And I can assure you that we have some of these challenges in Africa. So I decided that, okay, let me also now focus on developing rapid detection techniques to come out with. So this is just a snapshot of how the models are built. We do the scanning by collecting the spectrum, the fingerprint of a unique sample, and then we build the model, we do calibration, build the model, and then we test it. So after testing, you see that you get your result, and then you can input it in your mobile phone, and it can work anywhere that telephone can work. And this is one of the fantastic ideas we have developed so far. But however, there are other ways that could also be done to incorporate this technology so that we can support our farmers. Because the more we support our farmers, the more we live a healthy life. So this is how the model got. We now focus our attention on one aspect of the agro input, that is fertilizer. So after scanning the fertilizer with the mobile phone and with the scanner, we got what we call the fingerprint. And as you can see, the fingerprint on the first right-hand side is confused, but with development and modeling, we can now strike the beam and come out with the unique fingerprint of each of the fertilizer. And you can see we have the fresh, we have the expired, and we have the adulterated. When we did the modeling, we were able to segregate the two. That means that with a simple scan, you can come out with the fertilizer type you are using, whether you are using adulterated, fake, or the authentic one. So this is also receiving attention. Again, I heard the previous speaker say something about cocoa. This has been developed for the past 6 years now, where we could be able to differentiate organic cocoa from inorganic ones. We could be able to predict the fermentation process of cocoa by using the same technology. So our center, we can hardly say that we are calling for collaboration to upscale this technology in Ghana first. Or we receive invitations to other parts of the world so that this technology will be used. But we are here to see how it works well for our own country, Ghana. So as you can see, with one of my PhDs, we were able to now look at fermentation types. So when a farmer wants to check that because he's not fermenting the cocoa well, we'll be able. This will also shorten the processing time our cocoa goes through before it leaves the country. So it also led to some publications. Then finally, what also got our attention was a colleague bought medicine. After taking the medicine, he realized that the medicine had expired. So we wanted to see the impact of our technology, if it could differentiate. So here, we call on the Ghana Medical Society to approach so that we could use this technology within microseconds or within few minutes to be able to differentiate authentic anti-malaria drugs and fake ones, as well authentic antibiotics and fake ones. Because report we received from an external partner is that there are huge circulation of this medicine in sub-Saharan Africa. That means that Ghana will go ahead by developing this technology. And as a center, with the same background that we have in modeling using chemometrics, we've been able to model the way, and now with the means spectrum processing, we can differentiate authentic or expired fertilizer, anti-malaria drug, expired antibiotics from authentic ones. And so that has also received a wonderful publication, which is receiving a lot of comments. Finally, what I want to also talk about, the way forward. These are all challenges, and like the earlier speaker said, challenges bring you to the challenges gives you the opportunity to also see your relevance to society. Recently, we chanced on this document that some farmers are treating fish farmers with formalin, and formalin is also carcinogenic, so that the fish will stay longer, but it has been banned from our food system. So is there a way that we can overcome this challenge? And mind you, the little we have done shows that we can use mobile phone assisted chemometric technology to differentiate formalin treated fish from the ones that were not treated with formalin. So finally, I would say that the portable NIR spectroscopy possesses a bigger opportunity for detection of food integrity first, illegal or banned drugs, fuel integrity, fish fraud, and the system has worked well. It has been proven. We now want collaborators to help us so that we can upscale this technology to help the entire food system, which nobody can be left out. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Prof. When I saw food fraud, I got a little scared. Now I understand. So I see that in as much as we have risk and the threats, there is hope for
there is hope. But that means that we call for a lot of young guys to come on board because it appears as if everybody is shying away from the integrity of our food, and majority are not aware that food fraud is on the rise, especially when COVID and others came our way, because the food system was long, food chain is long. So our advice are to curtail that. We need to shorten our food system by producing more local, so that we can eat more local. Because when the food chain is longer, it has more threat to food fraud. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Prof. Let's appreciate the Prof with, yes, thank you. Prof, I believe you are still online. You'll be joining us whilst we have the panel discussion.
Wonderful.
Right, because I'm sure we have quite a number of questions that we would like you to address. Our students and participants would want you to help address.
Okay.
All right. So we have come to the most interactive part of our program. That's the panel discussion. We are going to have panelists with us here, and then based on the presentations we receive from them, we can now have our Q&A and our contributions and our comments. So we would have our main speaker for the day join us on the day, Mr. Godinikwe, who has 20 years of experience with smallholder farmers, and he's been with Isoko since 2013, making this year the 10th year. You've done very wonderful. He is currently the manager for operations and field deployment. Yes. We have Mr. Darlington Akogo, if I got the name right. Mr. Darlington Akogo is the CEO for Caro Agro AI, artificial intelligence, and his area of specialty is in the health sector and precision agriculture. HTU likes a lot of precision, so we welcome that very much. We have Miss Lily Edinam Benson, the former HOD for computer science. She has wide and rich experience in the academia with her research interests. In digital learning, mobile computing, and artificial intelligence in education. Last but not least, we'll be joined by Mr. Stephen Deborah, the manager for GASIP Ministry of Food and Agriculture. Mr. Deborah, if you are here, kindly join us, have this interesting and thought-provoking discussion. Thank you. And we will have Miss Sylvia Kwe, my very good self, as your humble servant moderating this evening. It's going to be a very brief discussion, a maximum of 30 minutes, so that we can go to the exhibition and conclude over there. Please enjoy the discussion. Let's put our questions, our comments, everything down, so that when it's time, we'll be able to, wouldn't struggle so much asking our questions or putting our comments across. We can just read. So please, let's put down our comments. Thank you very much. in this case, I want the lady to go last. We were the very last creation of was the last one of God's creation. So, Madam, please permit me to let you go last. We would want to have an introduction, though I've done a brief introduction. Let's hear from our panelists.
My name is Gordon Koteningwe, as mentioned over and over again. I'm the Senior Business Advisor for Isoko and the Field Operation Manager. Thank you. And I'm Darlington Akogo. I'm the founder and CEO of Carago AI. So we specialize in artificial intelligence, precision agriculture, and then broadly what is called Agriculture 2.0.
Agriculture 2.2. Okay. Hello. I'm Lily Edinam Bensa, a lecturer at the Computer Science Department, World Technical University. Can you tell us more about your research interest area, what's done in your research? Okay. As mentioned earlier, my research areas are mobile learning, digital learning, AI in education, and basically I'm interested in knowing how education can be made better through the digitization. So basically, that's what I'm interested in.
Good afternoon. My name is Stephen Debre. I'm the Agribusiness and Value Chain Manager for the Ghana AGRIC Sector Investment Program. This is a program under the Ministry of Food and AGRIC, being financed by the International Fund for Agricultural Development, IFA.
Let's also say for the benefits of those who are not so familiar with Isoko. You mentioned it once or twice in your presentation. I mentioned it mentioned. Can you tell us more about Isoko?
Thank you. Isoko is an acronym, and it means electronic market. The E stands for electronic, and the Soko is a Swahili word that means market. So when you bring it to our literal terms, we say electronic market. It was created initially to look at the price transparency within the sub-region, that's West Africa. We extended it to the whole of Africa by bringing price transparency that one can move its produce from one end to the other. But as time goes on, we've evolved and we've added so many things. We've added the weather, we've added the agronomic advice, the Ghana Smart agronomic advice. We've added what we call the business offer, simply buying and selling, matchmaking people on the platform. And then we've also added the insurance component that we call Bambo. And we also established our farmer helpline, which is a call center. And it will shock you to know that we speak 15 local languages at our call center. MTN and Vodafone cannot even speak 15 local languages in their call center, but we do that because we want to serve the farmers and serve them better. Because of our data collection, we've also built a very robust data collection app we call the Insight, and it can do any form of data collection for you. It can also do analysis for you. I urge the students, when you are going to do your data collection, stop using paper, go digital, go on Insight. Last time I thought somebody said it's free, it's not for free. You pay as low as 120 cedis for the whole month. So if you are able to digitize your questionnaire and do it very well, you can pick your data, do your analysis, and finish everything before the month even ends. And if you have any issue, you can call me, I can assist you to use it. It also makes it easier for your supervisor to supervise you, because once you are collecting the data, the supervisor will be seeing what is happening. If you need to change some of the questions, it can easily help you to change it, can help you to do analysis. When you come back home, all you need to do is now to do your write-up, and you are done. Thank you.
So ask Mr. Akogo to also tell us what para agro artificial intelligence is about?
Okay, sure. So I will start with our drone solution. So basically what we do is that I think Mr. Gordon also spoke about this. So basically it's as simple as flying a drone on a farm, and then we have AI systems that are able to analyze that data and tell you where on the farm there are diseases, pests, or let's say nutritional challenges. So yeah, that's basically how the platform works. In addition to that, we also have apps that do something similar. So you can take images from the phone and it will tell you what disease or pest is present.
All right, thank you very much. HOD, sorry, former HOD computer science. That's how I remember you actually. So please forgive me if I'm not getting your name.
That's okay. Yeah, so as I said earlier, I'm from the computer science department. That's one of the departments in all technical universities. We offer HND programs and BTech programs in computer science and ICT. Our aim is to train graduates who have the requisite skills to meet the growing demand of businesses in terms of IT solutions. So we basically train them with practical skills to identify and provide IT solutions. Thank you.
About the backup. We know what the MOFA is about, like the gadget and the MOFA.
All right. So the Ghana AGRIC Sector Investment Program, as I said earlier, is an IFAD-sponsored program. It has been in existence for the past 6 years, working with over 24,000 smallholder farmers. This is a peculiar investment getting towards the smallholder becoming more profitable and then climate resilient. So all the activities we do in terms of investing is all towards the smallholder, and it is aimed at making he or she more profitable and then resilient. As part of our target, the youth and women are the key focus. So when you look at our program, at least 30% of the people we support are women, and then the youth account for about 37% of the support that we provide to farmers.
We are grateful that they are supporting us in farming. Thank you so much. Exploring agri-tech opportunities for employment, that's our theme for the program. I would want us to speak to it. Mr. Akobo, can you please speak to the theme, exploring agri-tech opportunities for employment? What are the challenges that were really identified, and how did we come about? Identify some of the opportunities to solve this problem.
Well, thank you for putting me on the spot. Yeah, so I think Mr. Elolo, yeah, we had a radio interview on Tuesday where we were having discussion pertaining to the subject matter. And so what I was saying was that opportunity is connected to problems. So as opposed to, I can tell you a number of problems we've been able to identify. For example, we've realized that farmers have challenges when it comes to monitoring and scouting, especially when you are looking at commercial scale farmers. So, and that's also very important. So we work with a number of international development agencies, and their interest is often geared towards small scale farmers. You know, I'm not asking that we should pity commercial scale farmers, but no one really helps them. And so we have, I think an MP famously said that farming is, excuse my language, a fool's job. And he was specifically talking about commercial farming because he lost a lot of money, and he's not alone. And so there are a number of issues, and so we spoke to commercial farmers. Why are you having this issue? You know, funding is definitely a huge part of that. But once you are dealing with that kind of skill, being able to periodically and frequently monitor it is also another challenge. They have challenges with input and all of this. So we have these conversations with them, and then we look at how to use artificial intelligence, precision agriculture to be able to address them. So our platform was actually built in response to this. Another problem we also realize is that if you compare the efficiency of, let's say, of crop yield in Africa compared to other parts, the gap is really wide. Basically, for what you get out of an acre, the same crop, in Europe they might get 10, 20 times more. And so out of that, we investigated and realized that one key difference is plant breeding. So in other parts of the world, they actually study the science of creating new varieties that automatically generate more yields. They also have better resistance to diseases and pests. And so we realized that in Ghana and Africa, we actually also do have this. There are plant breeding institutes within Ghana, but unfortunately, there's also a lot of, should I say, conspiracy theories. People say GMO is bad. I don't want to get into that, but the science of creating effective and efficient breeds and varieties is well established. Right here in Ghana, one of our partners, they've created maize seeds that produce 10 times more than what is traditionally used. So that means that just by buying the right kind of seed, you can look at, let's look at it monetarily. You can improve how much money you make as a farmer 10 times just by doing that. So we had conversation with Plant Breeding Institute, and we realized that there's also some gap that they have. So we developed something called high throughput phenotyping, which basically requires us also using a drone. We use a drone to study the various seeds that they are experimenting on, and then we can tell them with data which of the seeds will perform well, which of them will be resistant towards diseases and pests, which of them will have a higher yield. So these are some of just the opportunities we've noticed. But if you take anything away from this, I don't want young people to come here and then probably listen to others and say, oh, someone mentioned there's an opportunity here, and so I'm going into that field. That is totally wrong. What you should be doing is saying that I'm going to look for problems around me. On your own, you should be able to just engage farmers. You should be able to engage all the actors along the agro value chain, and then identify which problem you are interested in. Because I was saying this during the interview. Isoko has been running since 2008, right? And I can guarantee you, just also as a business person, it's not perfect. Everything is not perfect. You have challenges, right? So if you're going into the space, you are basically taking 10, 20 years to work on something for it to scale and have the impact you need. So make sure you are looking for problems that you are passionate about and are willing to come up with solutions, as opposed to say, oh, tell me what is the opportunity, what should I go and study, what should I go and do? So that's what I'll say on that.
All right, Mr. Debra wants to come in there.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think much as I agree that our young folks should go and look for problems, it also depends on a lot of factors, especially the environment in which they find themselves. So, just giving an example, in 2007, an investor came from Denmark and wanted to establish a farm. They brought 3 tractors to Ghana. Unfortunately, or fortunately for us, all the tractors were GPS-based operation. And we combed the whole Ghana, we couldn't get anybody to move the tractor from the port. You have to bring people from Denmark to come and move it. I'm saying that some of these opportunities, until you get in contact with the real situation, you may not be able to really identify them. So there is that need for us to be able to put in a lot of effort in identifying some of the problems. If you take our environment in whole, for example, we have some agricultural activities around. We take Caltech, for example. Caltech is into processing of cassava into ethanol. But what they buy is not only the cassava, they buy starch. So how can a solution need to allow the smallholder farmer able to determine the starch content of the cassava? So some simple equipment or tools to enable that farmer be able to do that. It's something that whole technical university could look at. How can AGL, which is a rice processing company just around us, be able to get farmers to be able to determine the right moisture content of the paddy rice they produce? There are poultry farms around us. How can you develop solutions that will enable them to be able to identify disease at quick instance? So, as I said, we need a little more effort. The kids cannot go in there and be coping for these things. It has to take the effort of the industries and the academia to work together, have a lot more meetings, a lot more engagement to get some of these solutions in place.
All right, I have a follow-up question for you from the presentation of Exafogo, but I'll come to you later on. I want to get from Ms. Benson. Being in the academia, you interact a lot with the young ones. How do you see them being ready to embrace agriculture after graduation, especially within the broad spectrum of the value chain? Yes.
Thank you. I would say most of our youth generally are unemployed because of lack of employable skills. And when it comes to agriculture, I want to believe because of its labor intensiveness, most youth will not want to venture into it. So we see it as not a field for a lazy man. But with the topic of discussion, if technology can be deployed to make agriculture less labor intensive, I want to believe most youth will want to go in, knowing that whatever they will be getting from agriculture can push them up. Meaning if the field is lucrative, they want to venture into it. Because we do see farmers, excuse me to say poor, we don't get to see the prospects, I mean, what we're going to get from it. So I want to believe if with this platform and in the right, if we can push them in the right direction, supporting them, they will be ready to venture into agriculture, yes. Once they know it's not so labor intensive, as was presented, you can be in your room and still monitor your farms. You can spray using drones. So it becomes so easy for them. And I believe they want to venture into. And the skills, the academia is doing so much in imparting or training them with those skills. When we look at our curricula, our focus is on practical-based training and industry involvement, as he rightly said. We develop our curricula in partnership with industry, and our regulators insist on that. They want evidence that you have engaged industry in coming up with a program. So we have this engagement. We're just hoping that we have more and we can collaborate to churn out graduates with skills needed for the agriculture sector and other sectors. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Kosi, there is this, should I call it a debate, that usually the young ones put across. If they have to start any business, it's about money. So it appears resources happen to hinder them from venturing into AGRIC, not to talk about the tech aspect of it. What would you tell the young ones? Should they be centered on resources, money, to start something on their own?
No. I said no because you only look for money when you aim very big. But when you aim to start small and grow from there, you will not be more interested about money. Why am I saying this? 10 acres. You can get 50 bags from even 3 acres. So instead of wasting that huge money in doing 15 acres, why don't I take some small money and even do half an acre? With half an acre, with a good variety, with good research, you can do farming without you even holding one cutlass to cut a grass. I'm a farmer myself, but as of now I'm here, there's no day I'm going to a farm and I've put something. Why? Because pray for you. So what again do you need? And when you start small and grow your money from there, that is where you see the zeal and the juiciness of agriculture. But when you try to grow big, you can never do it. The economists will tell you that things that you have high risk are things that gives you more money. Agriculture is a high risk area, but I bet you will never run loss because it pays back. As my brother was saying, I want to take one example on how the youth can take some challenges. Currently, one of the biggest challenges they have in the poultry industry is ammonia gas. And we all know that especially the layer industry, you cannot always every day go and change the litter. You have to keep, for example, every time you disturb the birds, you put stress on them, it reduces their egg production. So you have to keep the sawdust there for a longer time before you also change it. If you can get something that can detect ammonia gas and a level which will affect the birds, it will sell. Every poultry farm would like to what? Buy it and use it. So you only go and change the litter when it's needed. These are challenges over there that you can easily look at it. They want something simple with a mobile phone or with a device, and let's pick it up. So yes, agriculture, don't look at it big. I once did poultry. I started with 50 birds. By the time I'm going to university that I stopped poultry, I have 1,000 birds. All my secondary school I was doing poultry. I started with 50 birds. And that 50 bird money, my mother didn't give me, my father didn't give me. It was my uncle who was traveling and gave me money. I had to use it to buy the birds and came and started the broilers with it. And luckily for me, by Christmas, I'm selling the birds. And that's how I started. So it's not the money. It's how you determine and start. The more you start and grow with it, you see that you've made it.
We have to start small and we'll see the yield. From the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, with your experience, what would you say are the three main challenges and threats for especially the young people to get into agri-tech? That is to say, help us identify some of the challenges and threats so that when we are going, we are not going there as tabula rasa.
Okay, so for me, knowledge is key. You need to really understand where you are coming from. So for anybody who wants to go into the sector, there are three things you may have to quickly look at. The first is what's the challenge, as we have been saying. The second is what technology is available to address those challenges. And the last is what resources, what reward or financial reward do I get for solving that problem. Now the first two parts is where I see a lot of challenges for the youth. If you ask any young person to just come into your farm, for example, to work on a voluntary basis or even on internship, you hardly find some of these young people. They all want to work with Esoko as enumerators in a market, getting information. But the real hard work where you can sit down and look at the challenges, as he said, if you are working in the poultry sector, for example, and you realize that the farmer is changing litre per almost every other month, and it's affecting his yield. As a scientist, so that unwillingness to get to the primary source of getting the challenge is one thing that I think is missing. The other one is, you know the challenge. How do you get a solution? What technologies are applicable? I'll give myself as an example. As an AGRIC engineer from KN University, our program was mainly engineering, focused on engineering. I didn't do any agronomic or anything. So when I had my first job at Ota River Estate, a banana farm, they said I should design irrigation scheme. I have to go and learn the agronomy of banana, which I could easily have gotten when we had the faculty of the agricultural science. So some of the challenges we have to do with the way our programs are also integrated on campus. I don't see why an AGRIC engineer will not do anything in agronomy, and yet you expect me to come out with a solution for agronomy. So those are, for me, the two critical issues that will face any young person, and it requires a holistic approach from all stakeholders.
Right. Thank you very much. We are running out of time, and so we want to have some Q&A sessions. I'm sure we have quite a number of people who want to ask questions, bring their comments, express their displeasure about something within the agri-tech and how they think things should go. So, my dear audience, you raise your hand, we bring you a microphone, and you ask your question, we address. We have a couple of
I'm Emmanuel Beta, and I am a farmer. Even this morning I went to a farm. In fact, I really want to congratulate you on this occasion. I'm very happy and I'm well encouraged about your words. But sincerely speaking, farming is for young guys. Farming is hard work. So it's for energetic guys. If somebody should tell you that you be in the house and then based on technology, everything goes on in the farm, it's never true. It's never true. You have to work hard. So I've been telling my guys, my school boys, I've been telling them that if you learn, apart from university graduation and the theories and the cultural practices, you have to train on the ground. I always encourage people to go into farming. Why? If I may not be mistaken, petrol is something that generates money for every country, particularly Ghana I can talk about. But if you look at the price of palm oil, it's higher than petrol. If you have palm plantation in a very large extent, if you produce palm oil, you can make money. And even the maize, the common, I will say common maize, because everybody plants maize. If you know how to plant it, you know how to predict the weather, plant the right seed, and good cultural practice, my friend, you can make a lot of money. Similarly, cowpea. Cowpea, for instance, is 2 month duration. If you know how to preserve moisture in the soil, as I've been doing. So I think I will have the opportunity to explain to the people the way I preserve moisture. Even if it doesn't rain 2 months, my cowpea will work.
All right, Mr. Ekpede, I think your point is well noted. We'll see how we will address it.
Okay, so...
you have a question now?
No, I am happy about all the explanations. It's not about questions.
Because of time, we want to take the next.
Thank you.
We will take calls.
All right. My name is Paul. I just want to find out. We have talked a lot about the technology. Yeah. But the point is that how do we mainstream some of those knowledge to our indigenous farmers? And then the second question is basically how can we explore these opportunities in terms of it's not affordable to us as a young people, as well as it's not even affordable to us as a smallholder farmers. We have talked about technology, but how is it affordable to us as a smallholder farmers in exploring the opportunities? Thank you very much.
All right, for who address it, we are taking the third person. Okay, we'll come to you. We'll take 4 questions here and then we'll come.
So, Gregory, I'm a student in the ICT department, in the computer science department. I'm a farmer as well. I am the CEO of Particle K Farms.
That's very great.
This question is Kote. He spoke about insurance components for smallholder farmers. I want to know what that is about. He only said insurance components for smallholder farmers. We are aware that most farmers face a lot of challenges, especially unforeseen challenges on the farm, asking weather, fire, and other unforeseen challenges. These farmers face these challenges. They don't have money to produce again.
All right, so it's basically about insurance.
Yes.
Right, thank you. We'll take the next. Yes.
Technology. Please, my he gave us from University of Cape Coast. He gave us some electronic products that are used to detect certain frauds in food. So I would like, if he's listening and he can answer, I would like him to let us know how those products can be replicated to the end users. Because usually we see that technologies have been developed at the research centers, but they are not deployed to the grounds for farmers to take advantage of them. Then secondly, I think there's a missing link between industry and academia, especially with trainings on the ground, just like our first speaker or our first commenter just put across. Sometimes we see that there are issues like what Mr. Deborah just told us about driving tractors from the port to the farmers in the districts. What is being done in terms of training so that such missing links are bridged for knowledge to be disseminated for especially the students and those who are interested in doing the job of agri-techs to take advantage of them. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. So you have 2 questions for us. We'll address the first group of questions, and then we'll come to you later. If Prof. Tay is with us online, can we get him online? Is he with us? Prof. Tay, please, are you with us?
Yeah, hello.
Yes, Prof.
Yeah.
So the concept wants to find out how the technology is being replicated to end users, especially in the area of food fraud detection.
So that's a fantastic question that he asked. First and foremost, developing technology takes quite a number of time. Like I earlier on said, we've developed the simulation. It has worked in the lab. We've tried the method outside in our own environment. It has worked, but we need to upscale. So in upscaling, you need a bigger fund to do that. And as I speak to you currently, the UK Research Innovate has given us grants, and we are now trying to use it in the company to solve, let's say, palm oil integrity. So it is not as simple as just finish the technology and then just go a full. full scale. So the initial project started by my own self, so I used my own funding. When it worked, I tested it around the University of Cape Coast. When I further saw that it was feasible, we wrote for support, though we couldn't get any in Ghana. We relied on the UK government, and the UK Research Innovate gave us this funding, and currently it's underway. And that is where we have reached so far. So it's not as easy as just develop something. It needs to go through standards, it needs to go through trials, and at the end it will be used. But I can assure you that elsewhere they are using a similar technology, but this is the first one in Africa where you couple the mobile phone with artificial intelligence sensor to fingerprint the product to determine its integrity. And you can Google. Maybe if you are also interested, you can collaborate with us because we are looking for more of similar guys like you, so as to put. And again, if you are also a policymaker listening, you can collaborate with us because it has gotten to the stage where we need government support so that this will go full scale. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Prof. I hope, Joseph, your first part of the question has been answered. The second part will ask Ms. Spencer to help us with that. He wants to know what is being done in terms of training in the academia to bridge the gap. I think you mentioned it, probably he wasn't paying attention, but you want to go over it again for him. Thank you. All the time, there's this collaboration between us. As technical, at least I can speak to technical universities, I know we collaborate with them in developing our programs. So we try to train our students with the needed skills. We don't want them to come out and be unemployed. And aside that, we equally want them to be on their own, start something on their own. So they are given we try our best to train them with the needed skills. But that's notwithstanding, our students, we focus on problem-based training. So you are not limited to what is presented to you in the classroom. How is it being done? When you get to the job market or you leave the walls of HCU, how can you identify problems and solve them? So we do all that. When it comes to the IT field, like our students, when they get to third year, we make sure they identify a problem in the society and try to provide solutions to it. So I think students equally have a role to play in here. As I think a student mentioned, he's equally into farming. And I want to believe that was his own initiative. He has a lot of learning to do. So what we give you here, you also need to do some sort of learning, yes. So, but for academia, constantly we engage industry. All right, thank you. Mr. Forte, a question was directed to you. I think that is it Paul? Okay, it wasn't Paul. I didn't get the name, but he wants to know what is being done for insurance. He wants more knowledge on the insurance for smallholder farmers. And then you addressed Paul's question too about mainstream technology, to how we are getting the tech into mainstream technology and how affordable it should be or it is. Paul, I asked you a question.
Thank you.
Please.
The insurance, we have two types of insurance currently running within the AGRIC space. We first have the crop insurance, that's for the crop itself, and it's also especially drought crop insurance. So if we, by research, we know the problems that the plant needs at any point in time of its life cycle. So, for example, if you plant today and within the first 2 weeks we're not having any rain, it means from the insurance point of view, your crops has failed. So they will pay you for that. If you go as to when you go, where you reach, and the money you will get. So if you are only at the beginning stage, the first 2 weeks of planting and then the rain stops, they will pay you from now preparation to to where the rain has stopped. If you continue finish all your applications and then let's say the maize starts and that's when you even need more water, the rains don't come, then they'll pay you a full cost of your farm production. And normally the cost for the insurance is normally I think 3% of your cost of production. That's the minimum you pay and then to insure your crops. And then we have the other insurance which we call the bamboo for the farmer himself. A farmer may go to the farm, have a snake bite, and go to the hospital and be admitted for a week. Doesn't mean that week. It means that week the farmer is not able to go to the farm to do any meaningful job. So the insurance pays you for that. We also have a component which especially for our mothers, our women. So you give birth and you have complications and stay in the hospital for 3 days. You are being paid for it. So there are two insurance packages, one for the farmer himself and one for the crops. When you are hospitalized, when you are sick, when you get disability, the insurance pays for it. And the insurance are running over there. If you want more on that one, I can link you up with them so they can also come. We have the cross and we have the human one. With the technology and cost, I would say with the cost factor, I don't want to say affordable, I will use the word rather cheap. Because for you to get an information for a month to tell you the rainfall pattern, what you have to do, the market price and the commodity that you should do on your farm for a month, Isoko collects 5 cities. So it's very cheap. For drone spraying, I know depending on the level of weeds and what the type of the level of weeds that is there, I know they charge between 60 and 80 cities per acre, just like the normal range. So it's cheap. It's not because we don't know, we don't use the services, but the services are there. I mean, paying 60 cities for somebody to go and fly a drone to spray for you within 30 minutes is done, it's gone. You're also gone. You don't have any chemical intoxication in the body or anything. I think it pays.
Right. So that ties into what Mr. Kote said, Mr. Deborah said earlier, that knowledge, it is very important. I'm sure most of us didn't know all this. So give and take, you are spending maybe 500 cedis or less in managing your small farm that you want to start. So over to us. You want to have a follow-up question, we'll have to go here. But I think because of time, you'll get the opportunity to interact with the panelists after the discussion. So we'll take this side. But before we take this side, Mr. Deborah, Mr. Kote says that what we are saying is not entirely the case. Agriculture is very, and you are just here telling us about technology in AGRIC. Please help us with that.
Mr. Farmer, you are right. That's why we want to mechanize. That's why we want to bring in the technologies to make sure that it's done. Because instead of taking a sprayer gun and be moving around, in 1 hour, it does the whole acre for you. All right. You are not saying you should be in your house and be playing with the computer. No, we want to reduce the cost and also get more efficiency. And that's what we are saying. So it's not about the lazy work of staying in the house. No. This is about applying technology to make sure that we remove the inflationary in the labor activities. Yeah, thank you.
I'm sure, Mr. Giri, now you are satisfied. Great. All right, we have a lady farmer.
I'm Judith Nyante, service personnel in the Industrial Arts Department. I'm also a graphic designer, but I'm sorry, I'm not a farmer. Well, I just want to make a little contribution. And we spoke about food fraud So I would like to say that it would be better to involve the graphic designers as well, because when you talk about Ghana, it's very uncommon to see packaged products. So it's making it a bit difficult for the market to even identify the products and the producers. So I think it would be better to involve designers as well.
All right, thank you. Point well noted.
Okay. Okay, I am Stephen Obimpe from Industrial Department, and as a human being and an artist, I am among the people that consume the agro products, and the ones that are not edible to, I use them in my work. So I want to ask, what is my role in the agro enterprise? And also, if I have an idea, for example, in the rice farm, space disturb a lot, so I can use my art to make a sculpture or some installation in the farm to prevent the pests from destroying the farm. So how will I contribute, or what is the channel to pass through to contribute to that? Thank you.
Yes, please go on.
Okay, I'm Wisdom from Agro. Innovation for the fishery industry, and that's my first question. And then secondly, just for, I don't know whether it's a suggestion or any, for you to work on for all the what I have is there any way to have a storage facility for crops that are produced? Because most of the time in rainy seasons, those foods will be scarce again. For example, tomatoes. So farmers who are in production of tomatoes or all those crops, you see that they will not have anything at that time, or their input will be useless. So that is all I have. Thank you.
We'll take the third question.
I'm Meshach from Agro. Sorry. I want to ask that with the reign of food and job, with the reign of food for job, and with the reign for food, with the reign for food and job program, how can a student like myself be hooked on such a program? Thank you.
Hello, thank you so much. My name is Bochinane Champon Julius from the Accra Technical University. So this question goes to Mr. Darlington. Can you tell us more about AGRIC 2.0 and the problem itself? I think we have already answered some few things about that, but I want to know more about it. And also, do I need to know much about agriculture before I can go into agri-tech? What do I need to know about agriculture before I apply technology? Yes, so my last question.
Take your time and ask the question again. You are giving us a wrap. I didn't throw your flag, but if you come down to another level,
all right, so
yes,
yes, thank you so much. Sorry once again. All right, so most of the problems are already being looked up by you guys already. What chance do you think we have to impact in agri-tech? Do you think there are more things to be added to make things that Alright, thank you so much.
We'll take our last question from the gentleman. He's been raising his hand for the past 5 minutes or so.
Good evening.
Yes. In Ghana, we cannot variety, and our marketers or our women will travel all the way to Burkina Faso, go and give the CD or the dollar or the sniffers to them, and then we'll come back here and be lamenting. The scientists that we have in Ghana, what are they doing? I don't know. That's my first question. And then the second question, somebody just asked of it, spoke of it, but I'll still ask. We have plantain, we have tomatoes. By the end of the day, we still cry that, food, we don't have enough to eat. Why can't we have technology whereby we can preserve the plantain or the tomatoes so that when we're not having it anymore, we can just go and take it. Unless we have some of them here, but is it affordable or is it down to the market woman to acquire? Then the last one is about funding. As for ADD, it's just a name. ADD is just a name. You go there, they will tell you that they are just like a normal banking, or they are not able to help you in any way. How can funding be affordable to the ordinary person? Because most of the youth are letting around, playing going to betting and all those things. I don't know.
So basically, how do we make farming more attractive to? I believe that is why we are here. Technology should help us get attracted to agriculture, but it will be addressed. Probably with the Akoko would help us. Someone wants to know about food, AGRIC 2.0. Yes.
Yeah, our rapper friend, yes. So agriculture 2.0, it's called 2.0 because it's from the context of what is called in history the first agricultural revolution. So we're hunters and gatherers. So, whatever force, realize that we can actually clear the ground and plant whatever we wanted close to us and consume. And this was developed like about 20,000 years ago. And for the most part, it entails a number of things that you up your whole field like case. Just would have issues with pests more than other places. So then you throw in the climate change aspect, which is that we now have I think there's a joke that has been going on that we are experiencing winter in Ghana. This is some of the effects of climate change. So one requirement of people within the space of agriculture is not only to produce food, but it's also to produce food in the context of climate change. So it's called climate smart agriculture, agriculture 2.0. So you want to treat each. So how do you do that practically? You use drones, you use satellites. If you use satellites, I can tell you from what we do, for example, I can take, let's say you are growing maize, you can take the maize and realize that, okay, based on the nitrogen level, this one needs more fertilizer, this one doesn't need much. You can look at pesticide if you are looking to detect fall armyworm, if you're looking to detect maize streak, these are some of the projects we've actually worked on. We can tell you which part of the field it is. So on one hand, you reduce the pesticides that you use, which is harmful to you, but then adapting to climate change. So in certain communities right there in Africa, they are suffering droughts. As we are dealing with excessive rain, some people are also suffering droughts, and with these imbalances, they affect farming. Too much water is bad, too little water is bad. So if you're using drones, if you're using some of these tools, you can actually regulate how much water you provide based on the environmental context within which you are. So the combination of all these technologies and approaches, what is called agriculture 2.0. And in some sense, to do it that way anymore. You can come in with the technologies to use resources efficiently, but it doesn't mean that you can sit home and just fly a drone. You still have to go to the field. Yes.
All right, thank you very much. No more. Adam and Ethan, who wants to ask a question and give a comment. So our tech people, if you can help us with that. Hello?
Yeah, hello. I'm a past student of Polytechnic. I did AGRIC engineering at graduated 2010. Knowing very well that agriculture happens to be one risky venture within the space, we have invested in digital technology, and this is how we use our technology. From the one that we registered a farmer as a client to provide this agri-learning support to, we pick each data that the farmer actually provides us, and when the season starts, we have field agents that are equipped with the data tool. They visit the farms and provide assessments of the farm based on the good protocols that we have within the cropping protocol. And so by the end of the season, the farmer is expected to pay us back in terms of grains. That the data that we pick helps us to generate credit score for the farmer to determine if the farmer needs further support or an additional support or not. And we know that most of our farmers find it difficult to access credit facilities. And I like the comment one of my brothers made, that he doesn't even know why ADB is there. You know, so it is not very attractive to invest into farming. So as a private organization, we want to make sure that we connect all dots and still give farmers the opportunity to actually invest. In addition to that, we also invested in traceability. And as we speak, we invest in traceability because we take food security and food poisoning as a critical issue, especially those of us who know much about aflatoxin. It's a very dangerous chemical. And then our outgrowers, or the people we sell our produce to, is baby food producing company. For instance, Nelson Ghana organization supply maize to them. So we also invest in traceability in a sense that any bag that arrives in our warehouse with a smartphone, you could just scan and tell the exact farm that particular bag is coming from. And you're able to tell that because agents go to these fields and mark the farms, and then we pick the geo tag of every farm. And that information also helps us to get the right rainfall prediction data for that particular farmer's farm.
Right.
So by the end of the season, if the farmer complains of drought, we request for weather information on that particular coordinate from the weather service organizations like Ignitia, like Isoko, to verify that the right crop water needs that particular crop needs to produce within that geo tag has been supplied at the course of the season. If yes, then we have enough evidence to have a dialogue with the farmer to understand that, look, you got enough rain, so drought as an excuse not to pay your loan is not.
So, AgriTech is real. That is what you want to
it is real.
Yes.
Yes, and I have been doing that right after Hope Polytechnic for the past 12 years.
I think
Thank you very much.
No doubts about that.
Your name is Emmanuel, please.
Emmanuel, okay, sure.
Sorry. Yes, Agbegal.
Thank you very much for calling in. All right, so back to the hall.
There are some questions that
yes. So I wanted Mr. Deborah to address Wisdom and Kujo's question. They are similar. One wants to know what innovations there are for fisheries, and then in terms of the agri-tech, of course, the technology bit, and then the storage facilities. Sorry, Mr. Kote, I want Mr. Kote to address the storage facility part. But for Kujo also wanted to know how we can get the varieties and then funding as well. So we'll let Mr. Deborah address these 3 in 2 questions. Right, thank you.
All right, thank you very much. I think some of the questions are questions that calls for some of our young ones to explore. So, for example, I have a fish pond, and there are issues of diseases. What solution, what technology, what innovation can I develop to ensure that it is done? So these are some of the things, or this is the beginning of your exploration to address some of these challenges. So I'll rather encourage you to talk to the primary artists, some of the fish aquaculture companies around, and ask them exactly what are some of their challenges, and see how you can use your science and whatever you have learned from here, and then even from outside, and be able to address those challenges. Technology, there's no end to it. We need to be improving every day. So rather explore those challenges.
All right, thank you. And Mr. Kote, help us with the storage bit.
Yeah. For storage, I would say we have the storage facilities. The problem we are having is bigger than you and I. I don't think the government can even solve it. Let me I'll give you about 2 of them. One, you mentioned one in tomato, so I'll give you a story on tomato. In the year 2009, I was working with a company called Tipsy, Trade and Investment. I've forgotten the phone number. I'll tell you. We help farmers in Wechi and Tetimai to do tomato under drip irrigation. And they do the lining, so they try to get a good yield. We help re-establish the Wechi tomato factory and the Tetimai tomato factory, so that at least all the tomatoes from these areas will be picked and then processed into can for future use. It will interest you to know, after everything has been done, the farmers refuse to give the tomatoes to the factories. They prefer to sell them to the women for the market because there's a density price difference. The factories up to today have collapsed. So do you blame the factory for establishment, or you blame the farmers not bringing the tomato in? farmers were giving were free. Now that the factory is no more and the tomatoes are getting rotten, they can't blame anybody. So at the time that the opportunity was created for you, if you have given your tomato to the factory, the fare will have been existing as at now, and price will have changed, things have changed. So not that the we found ourselves to be in Ghana. Right now, I can say that, I don't know, most of our irrigation sites are not working. You go and the only thing they can do is to flood the ground for rice production. So you can get some production. But when it comes to tomato, whereby you need a little water, it cannot work. So definitely our brothers from Burkina who have that facility will produce and will go and buy. They also come here and pick our maize and go. So also go there and pick their tomatoes, hang one cap, and then we are going like that. In terms of the financing, not that ADB have the name, it's Agricultural Development Bank and they are developing agriculture. The problem is, ask yourself, how many of our forefathers have taken loans from ADB and have not paid? If you go to all the banks in Ghana, we have to be frank, go to their loan portfolio, and I can bet you, if I'm not mistaken, 90% have been given to farmers and they haven't paid. So if the money has gone to a farmer and haven't paid, will you take another money to that farmer? No. Let's face it, if the money in ADB is not for ADB, it's for some of us who are going to save our money over there. So if they give it to you as a loan and you don't pay, tomorrow they will not have money to give it to you again, but they will also protect that money. So if I can withdraw my money and go. I don't think you'll be happy if you go to ADB and they tell that, oh, Kojo Mensah came for the money as a loan, they hasn't paid, so wait, when he comes and pay, we'll give you your money. You will not be happy. Yes. So they will not give you loan again. But if our people who take the money pays, there will be money evolving for it. Like our interest will even come down. But we are not paying. So let's advise our people to pay. And when we were farmers who told me that, look, when the banks give them money, it doesn't mean that the government will give them money, but the money has been given for people who are Accra. They finish spending. So now the one which is coming is for us. So we also have to spend and go. Perception. So please, let's see and go. Thank you.
Right. Please, let's urge our fathers, our mothers to pay their loans when they go for them, so that when it's time for us to also get into the business, our loans will be granted for us to go ahead. And we'll take the last question, and we want Professor Terry and Miss Lily to address that. We have two people from, I think, the creative industry, relating it to food fraud. They want to know how they help in that area so that that threat will be much mitigated. Prof. Tay, if you are with us.
Hello. Can you hear me now? Hello.
Yes, we can hear you, Prof.
This is a fantastic question. I received it some time ago outside Ghana. The creative art also play a very important and critical role. For instance, if we use banned chemicals to dye our clothing and that apparel is used in the food processing sector, it can leave residue in that. That is one aspect. The other aspect which she mentioned, which is fantastic, was that even designing the labels for food, we need to also make it obvious and make it more readable so that the ordinary person in Ghana can read. Because sometimes expiry date can be rewritten after the food at the start. So they have a very major major act to play in terms of the food fraud that I alluded to. So yes, they can do something. The safety of the apparel in terms of some imported textiles that are banned. When the food processor wears it to process food, it can lead to some residues of toxins in the food. Again, when designing labels on the food, we need to use food creating materials to design the labels. And the labels must be obvious and it must easily be read by everybody. If you cannot read, it must have signs that show that this and that is happening. That is what I would say. Because again, the entire food system, the including and textile people are also part of it. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Prof. Let's applaud for Prof. Yes. Ms. Bentham, can you take it from the AI point of view? Yes. Okay. Addressing the same issue. I think first of all, I want to say they are part of the agricultural value chain. Yes, because from the produce must get to the consumers, and branding comes in. So branding comes in, and they come in strongly. How the age, yes, people want to have information about things they buy. So, and when we talk of IT, technology, IT in agriculture, they're also part of us, more or less, because where we have e-markets linking farmers to buyers and all of that, design of websites and all, they are equally into that. So, I mean, attractive user interfaces, branding that can attract consumers and all of that, they are part. And it's part of what they do. I know in their training, they are equally trained to use IT tools to come out with this design. So they are part of the value chain. Judith and Stephen, I'm sure your question or your concern has been addressed satisfactorily. Thank you so much.
There's one question I think the gentleman asked about technology in agriculture. Where can it start from? There's one question.
And I think it's related to rearing for food.
No.
You put it together.
No, yeah, there's one rearing for food, and there's one about technology in agriculture. Where is it supposed to start from to go to where? But for the rearing for food and job, want to solve this problem I've identified in agriculture, and then you go and use your knowledge with that person, and then you solve it. One thing you should know is that technology has no end. Let me use the mobile phone as an example. When mobile phones started coming first, we have the analog phones, very big, very big. We normally put it at our waist and be walking. We are showing skills. But now, phones are as small as something you can think of. Or because of technology innovations. Now we don't use feature phone again, we are using smartphones. Tomorrow, I don't know what will come. It will be more advanced than a smartphone. Even smartphones, we have the levels in it. So yes, technology can help, depending on where you are, what you are good in, use that one to identify a problem that you can solve in the other angle, and you combine them.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Kote. We'll take the last word from our panelists because we are out of time now. But before we do that, we earlier registered via a QR code. There was a technical hitch. Kindly scan the QR code provided on the program and then register. We need to take attendance. With us. So please, every participant and scan. Right.
Thank you very much. Please, your last words.
I was please. Thomas Afarija, our former chairman for the Electoral Commission, after retirement, after all the money he made in international travels and doing elections in Liberia and all that, he went into agriculture. I mean, there's something good in agriculture. We have Obama in agriculture. All the big presidents are all in agriculture. There is money from the level to the highest level. Thank you.
Right, Mr. Kogo.
Yeah, the company in Ghana, they are non-Ghanaian, but they operate in Ghana and a number of other countries. They are called Golden Exotic. So if you check their, financial statements and everything, in 1 year, they made over 700 million euros. And so they were able to do this whilst operating in Ghana. And so, yes, there's to put numbers with some key methods that we talked about today. The next thing I would say is that we are expected to increase what are they called? Polypreneurs. They are politicians in nations to solve African issues.
Funding for us. Yeah, so we are there to provide IT solution. We are there to partner focus on only agriculture, but how we can equally contribute by applying our IT skills to solve problems in agriculture, by identifying those problems, no more, about 49%. That's from the 2016 housing population survey. But when we come to our educational sector, the former educational sector, realize the number of females in the agriculture department into IT, they are not encouraging. And I've been wondering, mostly in the northern region, if we have a number or a lot of women venturing into agriculture, but when we come to our schools, you don't get to see that. What is the problem? So, and per the little interaction with female students from my department, as a perception, we see the agriculture field, the IT field to be male dominated. So we think we cannot survive there. Or when we venture into it, we will not succeed. I want to clear that myth. So if in practice we have a lot of women venturing into, they are succeeding, then we should start raising our awareness from here. So we should encourage more female to venture into agriculture for the balance.
Affirmative action needs to start, and I think my brothers, our uncles and fathers also need to encourage women And please, ladies, when we are being encouraged to take roles in the male-dominated areas, we should see it as a privilege and a challenge and take it up. I'm sure at a point we'll even excel better. Right, Mr. Deborah.
Yeah, thank you very much. My last words are this. AGRIC is profitable, but AGRIC also requires that you learn a lot. You can't afford to make mistakes in AGRIC. AGRIC is not like painting, where you use the wrong paint and change the color later. If you miss the season, you miss the season. If you apply the wrong chemical, you get it wrong. You need to learn. Also, we have offices around. The ministry is there. If everybody is producing tomatoes at the same time, ask yourself, who will be buying? Look at the window. Let's look out for which window is most suitable to produce. Advertise on that. There are a lot of get these ones when you get to the ministry. So make the ministry one of your homes. At least once in a while, go to what programs are there, running for food and job. There is gossip, there is SAPIP, there are a whole lot of programs all over. Let's take advantage of this and make sure that we explore the opportunities. And once again, let's not do AGRIC just as any other thing. Let's learn from others, get on the field, make sure that you don't experiment. Thank you.
AGRIC is not for those willing to learn. It is not for those not willing to learn, basically. So if you want to get into AGRIC, learn before, during, and everything. Thank you very much, our dear panelists. I will give a short announcement as I humbly request or ask our panelists to now take their seats. Thank you very much. Let's applaud them online for your presentation now. Please,
can I give a short...
Before we take our next item, when we close, please remain calm, seated. Let's give you some refreshments before you go to the exhibition site. Thank you so much. You are so eager to hear the refreshments. Item 13, very important, eh? All right. Mr. Kote, somebody had a disagreement with your submission about the loans. I don't know whether it's right for me to let you know that the person thinks because it is not right to say that because they don't pay back. When we go, they shouldn't also pay us. It's like the students loan something. If as a student I took loan and I decided not to pay, doesn't mean that when my brother or my sister gets to school, they should be denied of student loan. I think this one will leave it into the public. That's why it's a dialogue. It's supposed to provoke thinking. Is it a matter of the chicken, egg thing or egg chicken? We leave it among us to keep debating and see how best we can draw up policies for those things to address the issues. Please vote at this point. Take our closing remark from Professor Texan, representing the Vice Chancellor. Thank you.
Thank you, Sylvia. I would like to proceed with my remarks riding on the back of protocols established by earlier speakers. I would like to start by saying a good evening to you all. Oh, I am pretty low. Yeah, that's better. I know we are tired. We've been here for close to 4 hours, and I intend to make my remarks brief. The Vice Chancellor should have been part of this event, but he's engaged somewhere else, and so I've had to step in his big shoes to deliver these closing remarks. As a technical university, we have a mission of training highly competent human resource in collaboration with industry. The collaboration with industry must be such that the training we provide is demand-driven. This way, our students will fit in the world of work. Students are also trained in entrepreneurship to enable them identify societal needs and establish businesses to satisfy these needs and create jobs in the process. This is why we are happy that we have had the opportunity to discuss issues on how to explore agri-tech opportunities for dealing with the unemployment situation in Ghana. Invited guests, colleagues, students, ladies and gentlemen, you have heard it all from the experts, and it's my hope and prayer that we would all use the insights we have gained today for creating the needed jobs in the Volta region and the country at large. On behalf to say thanks a million times to all the sponsors of this event. I will also want to thank our guest speaker, academic speaker, panelists, students and lecturers for taking time off their busy schedules to be a part of this event. Finally, I would also want to thank the head of department, Computer Science Department, for working so hard to make sure this event became a success. Thank you for your attention. Adam Nazu Kekeli.
Thank you very much, Prof. Refreshments. Are we still up for refreshments? So a small adjustment. We would have to go to the basement to have. Oh, you are not happy about that? Oh, this is a two-in-one thing. Oh, whilst you are at the exhibition, you are seeing things. Oh, you understand? Accra. Then you are taking your refreshments. You dey spy, you dey view, you dey chop. Oh, we beg. Thank you. So we'll go to the lessons of having the refreshments at the basement. They will be available for MOFA. Everyone, please get there and get your refreshments. We will now take our close Pastor Selassie. Thank you. We would also take pictures after the closing prayer.
Let's pray together. Father, we are grateful to you for that you've led us. That's been a successful program. We ask that all that we've actually received here should go a long way to cause a number of your people who actually benefited from this program to have their own ventures established and become AGRIC experts in the near future, adding technology to it. We ask you, Lord, as we get to the basement to actually see the exhibitions, we pray that your hand will be upon us with divine protection. Even the food, the refreshment we shall take, you sanctify it wholly with the blood of Christ. We have our brothers, sisters from Pioneer, Accra, Cape Coast, so on and so forth. I pray as they get back, grant them journey mercies, that there shouldn't be any reported accident from among them. We know you will do it. Thank you, Lord. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you very much. We'll take our photographs whilst we are taking. While we are taking our photographs, we'll take acknowledgements. So let's have our dignitaries at stage, our panelists, management members present, and their representatives. Our deans, our profs, directors, HODs, please come on stage. Accra Technical University, don't leave. Once you are here, you must do something. Take picture. Take picture, please. ATU, don't leave yet. We want to appreciate and acknowledge all our invited guests. Please, the photo can go on. I saw Madam Mary from MOFA, Ministry of Food and Agriculture. I think she's left out. Yes, thank you very much for coming and bringing all your business partners to participate.
Remember to like, subscribe, comment, share, and click on the notification bell because your comment is my life wire. YSB, the NTC burden bearer.